Welcome to Chiang Meh, Thailand. That's right, Meh as in M-E-H. What is Chiang Mai anyway? There was a time when I was going to move here. It was my first trip to Thailand. I was kind of infatuated and curious about this place. My plan was to move here. Now I just come here to see my dentist. Had to get an implant this week. Chiang Meh, what is it? What is Chiang Mai? They say it's Thailand's second biggest city, but is it? They say it's a wonderful place to live as an expat. Is it? They say it's a really good place for nature. Is it though? And they also say it's like this digital nomad hub or something about business. I'm going to talk about all these things and about some of the myths about Chiang Mai and why I rate it is the worst place in Thailand to live as an expat if you value your health. And what do I mean by that? Look behind me. If you were trying to see the mountains behind me right now, you couldn't, because it's all covered with a heavy pollution that's only going to get worse in the next 2 or 3 months. So for example, I'm going to scroll through my phone and see how Chiang Mai's air quality index is today. And if you see the index, it's 152. That ranks Chiang Mai as the 12th worst air pollution in the world today. And PM 2.5, which is the real toxic stuff, is over 50 today. So bottom line, when you have this heavy pollution and it lasts for a long time, it lasts for 3 or 4 months in Chiang Mai, it's bad for our health. I'm an old guy. I don't need toxic air pollution to make me even older and worse. And if you look around Chiang Mai, you see a lot of these old expats wandering around. They can barely walk, they're hobbling, they just don't look healthy. And if you look at air pollution, one of the side effects of breathing this stuff is it makes you age more rapidly. It actually affects your DNA and it makes you wrinkle faster. I don't need all that stuff to be faster. It already feels fast enough as I get to an age over 50. Some other side effects of air pollution, other than it makes you age faster, it also affects your respiratory. It makes you cough, shortness of breath. It gives you headaches and fatigue because you have less oxygen intake. So you're going to have dizziness and brain fog and sluggishness. You know, the long-term effects are really bad too. And you see that Chiang Mai has the most lung disease in Thailand, including lung cancer. So it gives you permanent lung scarring. It's absolutely terrible. For kids, it inflames the arteries. It's a higher risk of heart attacks and strokes, and higher risk of cancer, and it will also risk fertility. That's the bottom line. I'm an expat, I'm over 50 years old. It's already hard enough to try to stay vitality and have some mobility and work out and exercise and feel good every day. And if I'm going to put myself in this heavy pollution every day, I don't value my health. And when I see all these old guys my age walking around Chiang Mai, I can't help but think they obviously don't value their health, because whatever existing or pre-existing conditions they have, they're only making it worse. And I don't know why anyone would do that. Life's hard enough. Why would you choose to live in this shitty air pollution if you have choices and options? And one reason I believe you come to Chiang Mai and live as an expat is to pursue health. And a lot of Thailand doesn't have the best air quality, but Chiang Mai happens to be one of the worst, and on certain days, the worst air quality in the world. Next up, Chiang Mai's identity crisis. What do I mean by that? Well, a lot of people will defend Chiang Mai and say, but look, it's Thailand's second biggest city. They say city, it's not a city. This is a village. You see that wall behind me? They built that wall about 800 years ago, if you look back at Chiang Mai's history, to keep people out. They never really wanted people to come here, but tourism is the #1 thing for the economy. But the fact of the matter is, Chiang Mai proper is about 120,000. It's nothing more than a town or a village. So let's pop up on the screen right now the population breakdown. So yeah, Chiang Mai city proper, 127,000. Then you go a little further out, you have Hang Dong, 165,000. A little further, San Sai, 130,000. San Kampong, about 96,000. Then you have Mai Rim, 94,000 people. But somehow people will rush to say Chiang Mai is Thailand's second biggest city. And there's nothing city about Chiang Mai. This place feels like a village or a town, dusty town. There's nothing city about Chiang Mai. If you look around, there's no high rises. There's no urban center. It's mostly dusty little village or town. It's not going to have that city vibe that you're going to find, say, in Bangkok or any other big city around Asia, whether it's Tokyo or Osaka. It's a huge province with many surrounding towns and villages that equal 1.2 million. If you buy into Chiang Mai being a city, there's another group in Chiang Mai that bought into the city myth, and that is these digital nomads. But to understand these digital nomads who preach business, you have to look at a little bit of Chiang Mai history that goes back to 1990 in what's called the Banana Pancake Trail. So if you look at that trail, I'm going to flash a map up on there. Started in the 1990s. It was a trail around Southeast Asia. A lot of these towns were friendly to backpackers, and they would serve these like banana rotis, right? Just like they do in Chiang Mai. And what happened is a lot of backpackers came to Chiang Mai because it was cheap, it was friendly, they can get the banana pancake. And then what happened, it evolved, because around that time, the mid-90s or so, we started getting the internet, we started getting things like social media, and those backpackers adopted their laptops, and all of a sudden the backpackers said they were business people. There was the rise of remote work, laptops, faster Wi-Fi, and platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, and drop shipping made it possible to earn money online from anywhere. And suddenly those same budget travelers rebranded themselves as entrepreneurs, but without actually building real businesses. Instead, they monetize advice, selling courses, coaching, and SEO hacks to others just like them. Chiang Mai never became a hub for innovation. It became a hub for pretending to be successful online. The bottom line, Chiang Mai's so-called digital nomad economy was built on backpackers who leveraged technology, not to create real startups, but to sell the idea of success. How are these digital nomads a lot like the expats of Chiang Mai? They have more in common than they would probably admit. One arrived with a laptop, chasing the dream of passive income, only to end up selling advice instead of building anything real. The other arrived for cheap living, settling into a routine of beers at noon and aimless days. Both groups came looking for freedom, both got stuck. Chiang Mai isn't a place where ambition thrives. It's where it fades into comfort, complacency. So what's the final verdict on Chiang Mai? Number one, super polluted. Not only in the air, you have all these birds. This area seems to be super popular. You come out here, you take your picture with birds, you put on these like clown suits, in particular popular for people, say, from Korea and China. They organize these giant tour groups, and Chiang Mai is really popular for them to come here and do their shopping and take picture with birds, put on clown suits. But that's not my thing. I want a healthy environment. I want to do fitness. I want to be surrounded by relatively good air. I don't want terrible air like Chiang Mai. So it's a complete deal breaker for me. If you value your health as an expat or a guy over 50 like me and like a lot of you, Chiang Mai is probably the worst place to live. That's why I rated a 3 or a 2 out of 10 as a place to live as an expat in Thailand. It's just so damn unhealthy. But if you don't care about your health, and we see a lot of old guys here in Chiang Mai walking around, my age and a little bit older probably, they have canes out, they can barely walk, they're hobbling. They don't really look like they value their health. Maybe this is a good place for them. It's kind of like their West Palm Beach of Asia, where all old people go to be old. I don't want to be old yet. There's still a lot of life to live. What about nature? No, there's better places in Thailand with good nature, like Krabi. It's beautiful, and you have the ocean, and it's just a better nature vibe. You have hiking that to me is much more beautiful than any of these mountains around Chiang Mai. If you want a city, go to Bangkok. Bangkok's one of the world's best cities that you'll ever experience. If you're a young entrepreneur or someone who's working remote and wants to be around a good community of people who are doing innovative things in regard to business, not just people who are trying to figure out the next Google update or sell a course or be a coach and they have relatively no experience in business. Go to Bangkok. Go to other cities that inspire you, like Austin, Texas. It's just not Chiang Mai. If you're a legitimate business entrepreneur, this isn't where you camp out. It's just where old people, old expats, and young coaches and course sellers come, I think, just to be kind of comfortable. You're not gonna thrive here. You're just gonna barely get by. While I was out here, I just met a couple guys from the United States. They're traveling through Asia, and they just came from Khon Kaen. They said they watched my video. What places have you went to Khon Kaen, you were in Bangkok, now Chiang Mai.
Yep, and then to Wang Chan in the Rayong province.
How was that?
Oh, we're going later on.
Some hot springs.
Our friends teach English there at a school.
Awesome,
so
man.
then Koh Samet,
Beach.
and then
Back to Bangkok.
back to Bangkok for the last 2 days, then home.
What's been your favorite so far in Thailand?
I mean, that marathon was really
That
cool.
marathon was really cool.
Small city in like the western, eastern side, but like not a city you think you'd go to. Why we looked your video up, say, what do we do here?
Yeah.
And then you're the first one that came up, and we're like, yep.
There's not many tourists.
Not many tourists.
No.
Did you like that?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it was
fun.
cool.
It was interesting.
More local, right?
Very
Yeah.
local.
Yeah, a couple guys from Atlanta, they came to Thailand for a couple weeks, they love it. And they said when they were in Khon Kaen, they got that local feeling. As you heard them say, they saw like almost no foreigners. It's one of my favorites when I want to be in a place that really feels like more authentic Thailand. I go to Isan or Eastern Thailand. I love it there. I don't feel like this is authentic Thailand. You have a lot of tourists, a lot of tour groups from Korea and China. You have a lot of old expats hobbling around from Western countries. It's not my scene. That's why I rank Chiang Mai a 2 or a 3 for a place to live as an expat in Thailand. I have some final thoughts, but next stop, I'm gonna get out of this pollution. The air quality is horrible. I'm gonna run over to the airport, give you my final thoughts about being an expat in Chiang Mai. And by the way, it's not all negative. There's a few bright spots. So I'm gonna share those with you, but I'm going to the airport. Chiang Mai International Airport, I'll tell you what, it's one of my favorite airports in the world just because it's so convenient. It's only about 10 minutes from where we just were at City Center. I love this airport for that reason. A few other reasons why somebody might like Chiang Mai or who might choose to live here. One is the guy who's living here part-time. So they leave when it's really smoky. That guy might actually like to be here. The other guy who might choose Chiang Mai is the guy chasing cheap. Whether you're old or young, if you just want a cheap place to live relative to the Western world, you're gonna get it here. The other guy, the younger guy, who believed all the hype, and is gonna come here and be a coach or create a course to teach others about what they don't know. That guy might like it. Or the other guy, the guy who just doesn't know any better. You know, ignorance is bliss. When I was coming over here, there was a guy out jogging. The AQI today is 152. It's the most toxic thing a guy could do. And he's out here jogging. That guy might like it. Final thoughts though, I'm happy to be out of here. I'm happy to go somewhere where the air is cleaner. It's a deal breaker for me, is the poor air quality here. Also, I like somewhere a little more alive, like a city, such as Bangkok. And there's too many other places around Thailand that I love, more than being stuck in Chiang Mai during the pollution season, including places like Krabi or Suratani. You can see a complete list of all those videos at the above playlist. You can click on it. You can also go to my website, theborderlessoffice.com. There's a bunch of information there about rating cities around Thailand to live as an expat. Guys, farewell.